All right, leave me. Hiya Dishies, welcome back to the parlor. I am so excited to show you this haul. But first, we're gonna play a little 1980s Trivial Pursuit. That's my decade. That's my decade. I graduated high school in the 1980s. How about you? Anyone else a child of the 80s? Little child in the 70s, but teenager in the 80s. Yeah, so we're gonna play this. I have no idea what the colors stand for, but I'm just going to take a quick glance and we're gonna pick one. We're gonna pick entertainment because that's always the most fun, right? What 1980 #1 hit begins with Yoko Ono ringing a wishing bell? 1980. So put your answers in the box and put your answers in the comments below if you want to, or just think of it in your head. I'm not sure I know the answer to this actually. What 1980 #1 hit begins with Yoko Ono ringing a wishing bell? So think about the answer. Don't look it up. Just see if you know it. Maybe halfway through I'll give a little hint and then I'll tell you the answer. I went to Sally Army and Goodwill again, and I didn't film because the stores were so crowded, and I wish I had because there were some good things. The Sally Army, I tell you, they are it is crawling with people, and they gather around the cart and they dig through it and then they put it on the shelves. And they do an okay job, but the problem is the shelves are full and things are falling off of them. It's a bizarre little thrifting experience. It's kind of like a cross between the bins and Jenga and Christmas shopping at, say, Walmart or some bargain store. I'm not one to hover around the carts, so I just look through what everyone else has picked out of the carts and I find my treasures that way. So I went there, and I also went to Goodwill, and I'm actually gonna start with my Goodwill. The first thing I'm gonna show you, and I think it was the first thing I put in my cart, was the 1980s Trivial Pursuit 1980s card set. And it looks like it has never been used. Obviously someone opened it, but the cards are all there and they all look very neat and not bent or anything like that. And there's 2 boxes of them. They were produced in 1989. The cards are copyrighted 89. I can't wait to play this with my husband. He doesn't know I have it yet. So I bought that and it was $3.99. Then I saw these, and I think it's possible Robin has some of these. These are a Mikasa Floribunda cereal bowls, and these were produced, I just looked it up on replacements.com. These were produced from 1974 to 1982. They have plates and cups and saucers, and they are the cutest thing you've ever seen. They have these blue, yellow, orange, red and pink flowers, and of course the 1970s harvest gold rim and that kind of stoneware look. They were made in Japan by Mikasa, and the brand, the pattern is called Floribunda. Oven to table to dishwasher. And these are 2 cereal bowls, which I think cereal bowls do very well. I think they do better than plates. Replacements is asking, Replacements is asking $19 a bowl. Yeah, I don't know if anyone's paying that. On eBay, they're selling for about $6 to $8 each. So I will be listing those probably for around $13 for the pair. And I paid $1.99 each for those. And then look what I found. I was just looking around and looking on the end caps. It was time for me to go, and I found these. I found 2 of these Atomic. I don't know if they're highball glasses or iced tea glasses. They have a narrow opening. They're only about 2 1/4 inches opening. So I think they could be considered iced tea glasses, but with this groovy starburst pattern, I don't know. I think they are probably for cocktails, don't you? And they were made by Libby. Now, if you look down into the glass, you might be able to see it at the bottom of the glass. And they were in really great condition. There's 1 or 2 worn starbursts on each one, but the rest of them are great. And they are 7 inches high, so nice tall drink there. Can you see them? They are very groovy and cool. Aren't those cool? And they sell for about 10 bucks a piece online. Because of the little bit of wear that's on mine, I'll probably sell them for a little bit less than that. But I am going to be selling them. And then the other thing I found, this was, I think, the second thing I found after the Trivial Pursuit cards. I can't help myself. I just can't help myself, but we have to go into the kitchen to look at it. Check out this late mid-century ice crusher. I am sorry I didn't get great footage of it, but you can see crushed mounds of cooling ice for festive occasions. And you put the ice in here, and there's these rotary blades in there that chop up your ice. Plugged it in, and of course it works. You can do coarse to fine and anywhere in between. There's the on-off switch. Here we go. It took its time, so, you know, technology has improved since then, but what a fun piece this would be if you have, you know, a home bar or just want it in your kitchen for novelty's sake. I just love it. It's in really wonderful condition. Voila! Isn't that fun? I love it. Well, what do you think of that? It's so cool. I completely love it. I am going to be selling it. There's a few that I saw online. I don't know when they were made, probably in the 1970s. They don't sell for very much, you know, $20, $25 or something. And it's heavy. It's going to cost a bit to ship, but I am going to sell it. It needs to find a home. Isn't that cool? Do you like it? Would you ever use something like that? Let me know. Okay, that's all I found at Goodwill. Okay, we're midway, and I've decided I'm not happy with that Trivial Pursuit question, but I will give you the answer, and we're going to do another one. So, what 1980 #1 hit begins with Yoko Ono ringing a wishing bell? It's just like starting over. Remember that song? I'm not even going to attempt to sing it, and then there's all kind of copyright strikes if I play it, so that's why we're scrapping this one. Nothing against John and Yoko, but yeah, let's go to another question. Did you get it right though? I do want to know if you got it right. Let's see, let's do, this is an easy one. I think it's an easy one. Yeah, I think it's an easy one. I think a lot of you will get this. What fad had millions riding on something equipped with a kicktail, deck, riser pad, and grip tape? And this fad probably did not start in the 80s. This fad probably started before that in the 70s and continues into today. So probably reached a height in the 80s. What fad had millions riding on something equipped with a kicktail, deck, riser pad, and grip tape? I would like to know if you had a favorite from what I bought at Goodwill. So now we're gonna go to Sally Army, and I definitely have some favorites. I got this very pretty tall ribbed vase, and you've seen these. I think these were kind of florist vases. They were popular in the 60s and 70s and 80s. And I really liked the look of this one. It has a little bit of a wavy rim. Can you tell that from looking at it? And the green is very, very pretty. Can you see it shining through there? Anyway, it's very, very pretty. And it's got this little bit of a, you know, like a rope detail. It looks like some stacked bricks or however you want to think of that. And this nice ribbing. The bottom is marked 91 CFG CL52. Yeah, I think you can see that there. Yeah, and I think I'm just gonna keep that. It was marked $5.99, but they only charged me $1.99. Why? I have no idea. Goodwill, Sally Army, depending who's working, they just kind of do their own thing. I found something that I picked up and I put it back and I picked it up again because I can't say no. I just can't say no to a vintage sifter, especially a Foley sifter made in USA with the black metal squeeze handle. And this is a small one. This is like a 2 or 3 cup one. And I brought out another one I have. This is a larger one, so you can see the difference. It's not a baby one, but it's a smaller one, which is really kind of nice. I think probably you would use the smaller one more. This one I think is listed in my shop already. They don't sell for very much at all, maybe $10. And I will list this one because I certainly don't need another sifter. But I just can't leave the vintage kitchen there. I paid 50 cents, it was 99 cents, and this was the only item I got half off. This is one of those Christmas card baskets, and if these are not 70s, I don't know what is. Look at these cheesy Christmas cards. They're not, they're actually really nice. But there's something a little kitschy about it, don't you think? And it's got this nice red crochet. And here's some of the inside. And I do want to show you something. It's a nice large one. It's about 7.5 inches across and about 5 inches high. You can see it's bigger than my head. There is some damage inside. Can you see it there? It's almost like it was burnt. And this is a really cute little like gingerbread wreath. I think it's kind of cute. Yeah, you can see on the bottom there, and I almost feel like this was sitting, it doesn't smell like smoke or anything. It doesn't smell smoky or ashy or anything. It might have been sitting near a fireplace or something, and maybe an ember got in there, but I don't know. I don't know. So I'm still gonna sell it anyway. I got these unopened thank you cards. They're kind of nice. There's 10 of them in there. They were $1.99, and that's cheaper than you would buy them at the store. These were marked $5.99. And then they don't have their big book section like I mentioned before, but they still had some books there in the office supplies. And I thought these books were really cool. So I got, and I paid $1.99 each for the books, which I think is just, they have so many books, they end up throwing them away. Why do the thrift stores charge that much for books? They should be 10 for $1 or 5 for $1 if it's hardback. I don't know. But I didn't mind because these are vintage books and they're really cool. They're really thick. They make great risers or photo props, and I'm amassing a little collection. I don't know if I'm gonna keep these. It's an American Kennel Club dog book. It's called The Complete Dog Book. This one is a 1951 printing. Original first edition was 1941. So there's different sections on the different breeds of dogs. And then there's some black and white photos of the dogs, and it tells you all about them. And this one had a $24 price tag inside. I don't know if it came from an antique shop or something, probably, or bookstore. Here's some terriers, but it's in really good condition and will make a nice prop or riser. But look at this one. Look at this one. Okay, the last three things are probably my favorite things that I bought. This is quite a tome. It's very, very heavy. It's called Diseases of the Eye by Dishies. Yeah. And this one is, I wrote it down to make it easier. This one is a 6th edition, printed in 1910, and the original edition was in 1892. And there are some great illustrations and photographs in here. And I'm gonna just, instruments that were used. I mean, this would be great to make photocopies and do some artwork with, or make some collages. Or syphilis of the ciliary body. Wow! I hope you can see. I hope it's coming out. Operations for ectropion. Ptosis with edema of tissues, the result of laceration of the lid. So the eye is drooping down and swollen. Check it out. Okay, that's enough of diseases of the eye. Wouldn't that be cool to put with, like, you know, an eyeball or a skeleton with the eyeball coming out for Halloween? I think it would be cool. Look down and I see this pretty fellow. Look at him. Isn't he pretty? And yes, you're right. He's one of those, looks like wood, but it's not. Wall hangings. It's plastic. It's like a pressed plastic. And this one was made by Sirocco, which stands for Syracuse Ornamental Company. But the Roman numerals on the back indicate that it was made in 1967 in the USA. And these do pretty well online. And when I looked it up, the majority of the ones out there are just gold, and there's not very many of the painted ones. And he is just so brown. I think he is just splendid. And he's got some feet on him that if you wanted to put those little rubber things on so he doesn't scratch up your wall. And he's got the 2 hangers, which is essential. And I mean, he just couldn't be in better condition. I looked him over for a long time to make sure there were no chips or cracks. There's just the tiniest bit of wear to the coloring, or maybe it was already like that. It's kind of airbrushed, but none of it is broken. It is really in splendid condition, and I think someone would really like that. And they sell pretty well. They sell for upwards of, you know, $25, $30. And I paid $1.99 for him. Yeah. Do you like him? It's one of the first things I saw when I went into the store. Maybe the very first. I was drawn to this, another bird piece. And I was just looking it over, and I was thinking that this is something I might want to keep for myself. So I picked it up, and you can see the pretty birds there. They're like swallows or doves, I think. And then there's like little vines, little ivy vines, which look like little hearts almost, all around. And it's this cool urn shape. It's not very big, 5 inches high, and it's about, I don't know, 3.5, 4 inches across. I can't quite remember. So I was holding it up to the light to see if I could notice any chips. I was feeling, but as you can see, there's lots of little areas that could possibly get chipped. It's very heavy. I imagine that it's lead crystal. And then when I was looking at the bottom, you can see some writing there. So I held it up to the light and I could see that it says Lalique, France. And I thought, Lalique, France. I actually had a friend whose husband used to own a shop, an upscale shop selling Lalique. And I know it's very expensive crystal. I did a little research, and the stamp that's on mine is like a stencil. I don't know if you can see it. I hope you can see it a little bit. And that stencil dates it between 1945 and 1977, or post-World War II design. It still does really well. I saw some examples sell as low as $50 and some as high as $250, and some of them had various forms of damage. Mine does not have any chips or cracks. It's in beautiful shape. You may have noticed it does have like a little scuff right here. Can you even see that? Little scuff right here. And just looking at it, and when I was cleaning it off, I wondered that it might have even been a factory accident. It's kind of a strange place for a scuff, and there are no other problems with it at all. Anyway, it's a beautiful piece, and I don't know what I'm gonna do. I might be giving it to my mother for Mother's Day. I paid $3.99 for it. What do you think? I just think it's so pretty with the birds. I like anything with birds. I have to edit this video because it has gone on way too long. Blah, blah, blah. Let's go back to our question. What fad, you know it and I know it, had millions riding on something equipped with a kicktail, deck, riser pad, and grip tape? It's not a Segway. It's not a Segway. It's a skateboard. Skateboarding. Skateboarding. Yeah. So this game is a lot of fun. I can't wait to play it. Let me know if you have this game at home. Thanks for stopping by, and come back and have a great day. Ta.